Hi, this is a demonstration video for a Sansui R-410 receiver. Let me start with the serial number here. I'll go around this way for reference. And then we'll do a walk around. There's the model number. There's the serial number for reference. We'll go back to the connections in the back in a moment here. Anyway, this is a early 80s, 20 watts per channel, 2-channel. It's got some A and B outputs. So it's not a high-powered unit. It's got a tuner built in, AM, FM, and then it's got phono input on the back, and then it's got a couple of tape inputs and outputs on the back as well. It's a pretty simple unit. It's kind of plasticky. The knobs are plastic, although they look nice. This has got a kind of a silver front to it and matching knobs. But it's a nice looking amp. It's definitely not as deep as a standard amplifier. It's just, it's lower power. It's not a real heavy unit. This one's in pretty good shape. These sides are plastic. This is a metal top. And the front is plastic. But it's done nicely. Plastic sides. I'll take you around to the back and show you the inputs here. So on this side, you've got two sets of tape, or I guess you could call auxiliary inputs and outputs. So right now I've got this music player hooked to this top one, and then I have a regular CD player hooked to the bottom inputs. But you can see there's a play input for tape 1 and a play input for play 2, and then you've got like a record. I believe that can be used for output. You can take that back to another cassette player and record off of this input. Same with the lower one. I don't have the manual for this, so I may not be totally 100% right on the way the outputs will work on this, but from what I understand, that's how these work. And this may even be like a fixed level output. I haven't tested for that yet, where the volume and the tone and all that controls don't affect what's coming out here. This might just be a loop through to these so that you can record on another cassette deck, from this input to this output out to a cassette deck. Again, you want to check the owner's manual to confirm that. And there's a phono input. I've got a record player hooked up to it. I'll show you that it works. There's a ground. I've got that hooked to the record player to make sure there's no electrical noise in the output. And then there's your standard FM and AM antenna connections. And then it's got the standard spring clamp type of speaker outputs for your A and your B output. You can select from the front panel. And then there's your output, 110 switched if you want to hook some other components into this. Use this to power those. So yeah, it's pretty simple, but actually this thing sounds pretty good, I think. The tuner works great. It tunes in really well. So let me start with the tuner function here. So I got this set to FM. And we'll turn the unit on. And you see there's an indicator here for FM. And you also have an indicator here for your tuning position. What's kind of cool about this is, you know, as you track, here, I'll turn this volume up a little bit. There's some music there. As you track along, when you hit a really strong signal, you'll see this guy turn green. Now, we heard music and it's still red, so it's still picking up, you know, low signal and playing it with no problem. This music actually sounds really good. So there's also a power indicator here, a signal level indicator here. I don't know if you can see that. So when you're tuning it, you go, okay, we lost signal. There's some signal there, but still not very strong. Let me turn the volume up a little bit. Let's see how I hit the strong signal here. You got 3 levels. 1, 2, 3. So it's got medium, pretty good power on the signal coming in. And then this turns green. So if I detune this a little bit, you'll see it turns red and it turns green. So that's kind of a neat feature. Also on FM, it's got this muting FM on and off. So when this is turned on, which it is right now when the button is out, as you tune, in between stations you don't hear anything. You don't hear the staticky. You only hear it when you hit a station. So that's kind of nice. Now if I turn this feature off, then as we tune, you hear static in between all the channels. I think so. So if you're trying to tune in a real weak station or something, you can tune that off and turn this off and still be able to hear it, albeit through some static. Okay, so the FM works really good. AM, I don't have a good antenna hooked to this, but I do get a station here at the end of the band. So yeah, that's working. There's also this loudness. So if you're listening at low levels, you would turn this on and it would just help enhance the sound, you know, of the system at lower levels. That's hard to demonstrate, I think, you know, on a video, but that's what it does. It just enhances low-level listening. And then coming back over here, you've got a headphone jack, standard 1/4-inch headphone jack, and here's your speakers. So if we turn the volume up, so I've got 4 speakers hooked up here. So the big ones are the A and the small ones are set to B. And then you can either turn the speakers on and off. So it's either the outputs are totally off or they're on. And then you select between the A and the B outputs. When this is on, you can only listen to A or B separately. You can't listen to both at the same time. So if I turn this on, so I'm listening to B. So I don't want to play that too long and get a strike on copyright. So anyway, let me turn on my other inputs here. Let's see if I can get that to play. Okay, this is just some piano playing from my son's piano practice. So we've got basic, bass adjustments here. And these are fully functional. Obviously, you're going to be hard to hear on the video. You can hear that treble a little bit. And there's your balance. Right and left. So, yeah. Balance right, balance left. There. All right, so also, these are your input selectors on the tape 1 and tape 2 or auxiliary. I guess you could use them for auxiliary inputs over here. So right now I've got, a CD player, or I've got on this one, I've got the piano playing, and then I turn that off. There's nothing, and then this one I have a CD player. So that's playing some Elton John. So that's how you can select your other two inputs. It's kind of different. Usually you would have all your inputs in a row, just pick it, but they got the tape set up. And then this is how you can, I think, copy from like one tape to another tape. You can set these up, a certain way so that the output's going to the input of the tape 2. And so, yeah, it's got some functionality to it, but I'm not real familiar with exactly how that's working. So you would want to get the owner's manual to refer to on that. So anyway, yeah, this is a nice looking unit. It's, like I said, it's a little smaller in the depth than a standard amplifier, but it's the same width. It's like a 8 or 17 inch width. And yeah, the tuner works great. AM, FM both work. All the speaker outputs work fine. And then your phono, I didn't show you the phonograph work. Let me start my record player here. I've got this guy playing. So what we'll do is come over and select phono input. Can't play too much of that because I'll get a copyright strike. So yeah, it works fine. That's got some David Bowie going on it. So yeah, all the inputs are working great. Tuner's working great. All your tone controls, volume control, all that's working well. Yeah, it's a nice little unit. And let me know if you have any questions. Thanks for viewing.